The Lions ended up beating the Rams 24-23. By the way, I did not mind the booing of Matthew Stafford.
Yeah,
I actually thought it was
Don't be soft.
appropriate.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. What the guy do for them? He didn't win. So what the hell are you going to celebrate?
How dare you? He was part of that 0-16 team. He got the hell beat out of him for so many years.
So you're going to celebrate him?
Hey, you got to respect it, dude. The guy was there for how many other guys wouldn't have re-signed?
No, I understand that, but but remember, he's
was
still part
legend.
of those rookie contracts that were 5 years.
Oh, big
like,
time.
Yeah.
Okay.
He had that big time rookie
He was
contract.
well, he's a club legend. I get it. You're
No,
still
I
gonna boo him.
understand that.
You're still gonna boo him.
Yeah. I get it. But okay, but going back to the Lions, I mean, Sam Laporta showed that he has boulders between his legs. He decided to play. And the Detroit showed that they had heart, and they won their first playoff game since 1991. Just Gilbert, your takeaway from that?
Yeah, I like the. Well, I'll go with the coaching aspect of it. I like Dan Campbell sticking to his winning formula, his identity, being aggressive.
I appreciate that, Gilbert, man.
Yeah, no problem. I want to interview that guy one day. He seems so chill, and also tell him to his face I was so wrong about Dan Campbell. Dan Dago, though, my guy over here, he was so right about him.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, he was. He pretty much said, "Hey, Jared Goff, those guys over there, those MFers, did not believe in you. I know it's 2nd and 9 right here, or 2nd and 8, and we got to kill the clock. But I'm gonna give you the ball. You go put a dagger in Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford, and then threw the ball to Amon-Ra St. Brown. So they won the game like that. I love it. Sometimes it doesn't come through, but for the most part, his gut decisions, his analytics numbers, whatever the hell it is, he's usually right. So, and I was telling Victor on House of Horns, it's kind of funny how everything worked out after the whole eligible eligible receiver reporting to the official. It all came back to kind of help the.
They wanted Dallas though.
Yeah, I know they want to do a little pay, but they're still technically like, we're not technically, but kind of a number 2 seed, getting that second home playoff game. It all worked out because he was staying true to himself. And over there, Sean McVay, great job getting his young roster going. Perfect game plan for passing the football with Stafford and Puka, but couldn't run the football. Then there you go. That's your point right there. And then terrible game management at the end.
God, the timeouts.
Yeah, one timeout, and then you punt the football to the most aggressive coach in the NFL. He's gonna kill the clock. Keep the freaking football. Go for it on 4th and 14, or play for the field goal. He did neither, but Campbell won that game, and also Ben Johnson had a nice game plan too. And even Aaron Glenn's defense put a lot of pressure on Stafford.
By the way, there was one where that fool Jared Goff sacks himself. And here goes this jackass. He's like, hit your life alert or do something to pick yourself up.
It pisses me off, dude.
Dan
Quarterback play is so down.
But Dan, just real quick, what did you make of?
Real quick. I still think
more on Detroit or more on the Rams. Which one are you?
About winning?
No. Are you crapping on the Rams or are you celebrating Detroit?
Yeah, I'm obviously going to celebrate Detroit. I mean, I already said before, I wasn't a huge McVay guy. Shout out to what he did this year. I think this year really shows what type of coach he is. Because, again, I think a blind orangutan could have won a Super Bowl with that damn roster that he had, especially with the 12th man over there, the Zebras. But it is what it is.
Are you saying Little Daniel could have won a ring with that?
100%. He'd be the first, head coach under the age of 21 to win a Super Bowl, dude. He could have done it. But, I cringe watching Rams games because of how he blows timeouts. But anyway, I still think, again, I love Detroit. I hope MCDC wins it all. I'm honest about that. I really hope he does. I think those are the type of coaches we need at every level. That defense makes me a little bit nervous. I don't know what it is about, I don't know if it's this Vic Fangio thing or this high IQ supposed thing. I don't understand why you're making your best pass rusher drop into coverage. That makes no sense to me. That is almost giving the offense the advantage. I think that is completely idiotic. But, I mean, again, I'm not the coordinator. It is what it is. I still don't think Jared Goff's the guy. I still think, hopefully if they don't upgrade at quarterback, hopefully they can upgrade his brain chip over there and make him a little bit better, because there's times where, they're not successful running the football, and then the ghost of, Rams past Jared Goff or whatever comes out, and he just makes me a little bit itchy, makes me a little bit nervous. But obviously, honestly, great win. Like we talked about, first win in 30 years in the playoffs. Shout out to Detroit. Moving forward, I just hope they bring that physicality up front on both sides of the football, because that's going to be the key for them to win and go obviously to the promised land. But they need to run the football. I think, if I remember right, they need to run the football a little bit better. There was a few times they got bottled up and stuff like that. For the most part, this is the thing that I was most impressed about, honestly. Aaron Donald was pretty much buttoned up the whole time, dude. And there was a few times where he had one-on-one. So, I'm excited for the Rams. I really hope they do it all, but I mean, we'll see. But again, like I said, just some of that stuff really makes me a little bit nervous. I personally think it shouldn't have been this close, but I mean, it is what it is.
Vic?
Yeah, I mean, when you have Jared Goff going 22 of 22 when he's not pressured, that tells you the whole story of this game. I mean, the Rams, they made the adjustments in the second half. They kept the Lions under 20 yards rushing, which was great, but there was a lot of things, to kind of talk about with this game in terms of the other thing too now is, to Dan's point, I think this win now, when you become the first quarterback to win a playoff game for the Lions since 1991, he's going to get paid, unfortunately. So whether that's going to be the problem. I mean, he's getting paid now. There's no way you can get rid of Jared Goff after you accomplish that.
And if he's able
to, yeah.
I was going to say they got rid of Jamal Williams and the other one after a good year that they had.
Yeah.
Those are running backs.
Yeah, those are running backs. I mean, I just know the way teams kind of react to these kind of things is they're going to end up having to pay him, whether we think it's right or not, like Dan has said. That's just the thing that's going to happen. And,
he's done more than two. I'll say that at least.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started. I hope we're going to talk about that.
Oh, yeah, we'll get there.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah. I just, as you guys talked about too, about Brad Holmes, as you brought it up too, Fernando. I mean, what he's done the last 3 seasons, everybody talks about, Howie Roseman, and I'll continue to say this. I don't think he's a great GM. He's an overhyped GM. Brad Holmes, you have less need. Guys who have proven to be evaluators. When you have a general manager in Howie Roseman who just ends up getting lucky with some of the trades he makes. I heard Colin Cowher say, "Oh, he's a great evaluator of talent." When? I mean, I still haven't seen defensive back. I still haven't seen him hit on linebackers and or receivers. I mean, this is the same guy who drafted Jalen Reagor over guys like Justin Jefferson. So, I mean, going back to Brad Holmes, I think he deserves a lot of credit. He should be, the executive of the year just with everything that he's been able to do. And it just tells you that what the Rams are building also at the same time has worked out. I mean, they've been able to branch out. And not a lot of people, say about Sean McVay, well, look at his tree and, just go hire one of those guys, and that's what everybody's looking for. But they've actually done well, and that just tells you that the Rams have a good culture. And I one of the things I talked to Gilbert about on House of Horns about midway through the season was like, look, Cooper Kupp doesn't seem bright. If I'm the Rams, I run this offense through Puka Nacua. Look at what he does. He has 10 receptions for 181 yards in a playoff game. He breaks rookie receiving records. I'm glad that they finally decided that, hey, this is the guy that we're gonna, run our offense through, because a lot of coaches are stubborn and they won't go to it. We'll talk about Philly, but part of the problem that we've seen all around this wild card weekend is the fact that teams do not run the ball. I don't understand it, and I'm sure we'll talk about it, but that was the other problem with the Rams. I mean, Kyren Williams has been your guy on the ground, and to go away from it, I mean, that's what also kind of lost you the game here.
That's what Sean McVay does, though. Sometimes, like, he just goes away from what his bread and butter are.
It's these guys who love computers and numbers and all this horse manure that doesn't do anything for you, dude. A computer's not gonna tell me how to win a football game. Sorry, football game. It's not gonna tell me how to win it. Like, did you notice ESPN right now was like, oh, it'd be like a 4th down, and they'd have a little graphic that goes ESPN Analytics. Go! I'm like, oh, this is so stupid. Like,